It's not a joke. Yes, I'm actually breaking up with you. It's not you, it's me. Hey guys, it's a documentary!
All right, I think the journey of butterflies has been amazing. Hi everyone, I'm Ladi Shotonwa. Some of you know me as the Major Ladipo. Some of you know me as PL. But yeah, I'm a storyteller, I'm a drama king, and I'm the writer and director of this beautiful story called Butterflies. I just want to say it wasn't even in view, Butterflies wasn't in view for that year. PS gives me a call and says, I want us to have a stage production for Valentine. And I remember it was about I can't remember how many weeks, but I knew it was very close. And I was thinking to myself, in this short period of time, like it was a real headache for me from the very beginning. But, I said, all right, let's do this. Let's see what we can pull off, in this short time that we have. And I called a few guys together and said, this is it. And I started to brood on what could be the story. And then I literally latched onto the Jayola Williams character. I just wanted to figure out, I think the story grew out from there. I started to think of, okay, what angle can we do in terms of relationship and all of that. And I just highlighted on Jayola. I'm like, interesting character. We can build something from here, and then I just picked it up from there. And, that's what we have today called Butterfly.
My name is Desmond Bryce, and I play Jayola in Butterflies.
The first people I spoke to, so I think it was Victor Joe and then Chidima John CJ, because they were the first set of people I called that year. So after brooding over the story for a long time, I just needed to call some people together to say, all right, this is what I'm thinking, this is the direction I'm thinking, and then we started to refine the story here and there. Okay, what if this, what if that, what if this, but they were the first two people that I called, where this Butterflies story is concerned. Where casting is concerned, especially for Butterflies, I think this is something I have to write a book on, or a mini book on, because literally through the whole story of Butterflies, I did not go through the normal process of trying to call for auditions or cast. So I literally look out for the characters. I think of the characters and then I'm on the lookout for it. And if I think through Butterflies 1 or 2, is either I spotted them myself or somebody brings them my way and I just profile them in my mind. So I'll talk about Jai, for instance. I remember after his service, PD just introduced me to him and, meet Desmond Bryce. Oh, hi, Desmond, and all of that. He asked, oh, beautiful, cool. Exchange numbers, I kind of profiled him the first time I met him.
I was just a month old in church, and I met Pastor Deton, the resident pastor for the New Ikeja, and he was like, "What do you do?" I said I'm an actor, and he was like, "Oh, we have a stage play coming up, and I'm going to introduce you to Pastor Ladi." So he took me that Sunday to Pastor Ladi, and I think on Tuesday of that week, Pastor Ladi was like, "Okay, I have this script, and I want you to play this character." And I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, this is actually the lead character."
So I kind of profiled Desmond from the very first time I saw him. All right, just looking at him, he had this dada looking kind of hair. He looked like the Jaye kind of person, In fact, the way I came about the name, so I kind of like the name Jayola, I just have a thing for names that have Ola, and it's just personal anyway. I think that the character Jai, I'm actually very proud of that character, because in thinking of the character, I was looking for the societal egoistic male figure. All right, the chilled guy who thinks he has everything at his beck and call, the guy who who thinks he can have his way, and someone who was also a very, very smooth operator.
Jayola Williams is the leader of the Chop Life crew. He's the kind of person that likes to enjoy life, to the fullest, and he's grounded. He's also a very smart guy who is book smart and also street smart as well. I was really amazed because prior to then, I hadn't played characters like that. I mean, the industry I'm in, you are usually typecast. So if you look calm and collected, they'll give you like the nerd or the guy that someone will break his heart. But this particular character was was the opposite of what I've been playing before. So it was actually a challenge for me. So I was really amazed first from how I got the role, and I was also amazed at the character I was about to play.
I remember him telling me that, this was the first time I was going to play something like this, He's always been the more reserved, and every other thing apart from this. I'm glad that that character came alive, alongside every other character in Butterfly. So yeah, I think the whole project in itself is fulfilling. I remember also for Naomi. Naomi's one was very strange a bit.
I played Naomi in Butterfly. At first, when I got the script from Pastor Laddie, I didn't believe that he was going to, or I was going to play the lead role in this particular play, because the way I was picked was very, very unexpected. So it was one Tuesday when we finished Gethsemane, and then I think someone told me that, oh, Pastor Laddie is going to what's Ogba.
Somebody stepped up to me and said, oh, PL, someone wants to follow you to Ogba. I'm like, oh, that's fine. We were driving on Latif Jakonde, coming from Oregon, and we got to this traffic light at Adas Mall, and we had stopped.
Then he played this song.
I was playing Save Me by Liz Vice.
So I was just vibing to the song and all of that.
And then I heard somebody, I just heard these thin voices, and it sounded as though I was hearing Liz Vice behind me. And then I looked back like, who is that? And I looked at her and I asked her, you sing?
I was like, yes, sir, I'm trying, And then he said...
Straight up, I asked her, do you act?
And I said yes.
She said yes. And I remember my expression. I'm like, yes. I'm sure she didn't understand what was going on in my mind. I was like, yes, like finally. Because Naomi had to be able to sing in Butterflies 1.
Behind your Broadway show, I heard the voice say, please don't hurt me. You've carried on so long, you couldn't stop if you tried. You built your walls so high that no one could climb it. But I'm gonna try. Would you let me sit beneath your beautiful? Would you let me?
All right, and I'm sure you guys saw that clip. Had to be able to sing, and that was it for me.
And before I knew it, the next day he called me and he told me about the stage production, and then that was how I got the script. And
I just pulled her into it and said, this is what I want you to do.
it was quite challenging for me, to be very honest.
I remember her saying, really that, okay, am I doing this, am I doing that? But I mean, it was so good, it was so perfect, and she just, walked into that role effortlessly.
But the way PL gave me the role, and I believe that he gave me the role because he believed that I was going to take that role very personal and probably deliver the way he expected me to, which I think I did by God's grace. Yeah.
I think another person in thinking would be, of course, Chi-Chi, who I saw just walk past me. I had Chi-Chi's character in my head. I had the kind of, she was the Lagos chick kind of girl, this vibe. And I just saw her, I just felt like she had that vibe. And I just go, hey, do you act? Yes, or really? Bam. And that's how I just pull people. I remember Laura also.
My name is Doya Biola, and I played the role Laura in Butterflies 2.
PS calls me and say, oh, do you know Doyi? I'm like, no.
After service, I walked up to Pastor Shola to just, to say hello. And the next thing, Doing Butterflies is coming up. I was still trying to process what is Butterflies, because I didn't see Butterflies 1, so I had no idea. And the next thing, oh, you and Pastor Ladi will be working on this. Before I could process anything, I was saying hello to Pastor Ladi. Pastor Ladi was saying, when are we starting this?
Oh, do you know Doi? I'm like, no. So she acted in Nimbe. So I remember very well that I had not seen Nimbe up until that time. So immediately said it, I went back home that day and then I watched Nimbe. And then after I sat down, watched it, I buzzed.
And then, we had our first brainstorming session. And then I remember just getting ideas. I think we had the first call where I worked on the character Bible. And boom, Pastor Ladi took it up from there. And Butterflies still happened, but it was a very beautiful experience for me.
My name is Akinrele Adewale, and I played the character Henry.
Henry's own was that I literally had, again, like I usually do, I had that character, right? And so for a while I had not seen him around. So while I was thinking, who can play this character? Who can play this character? And then his face came to mind, and because I was looking for someone who had that, what a bad boy kind of thing character, and he just had that, that vibe and all of that, and it was so easy. Immediately I saw him, I said, I have been looking for you, and he was like, oh really? I said, oh yeah, and that was it. And I mean, I have different and numerous stories for all the cast, but I just have never, done audition and say, all right, cut, next. I haven't done that. Of course, we are going to do that, all right. But I mean, for the story of Butterflies so far, it's been me just trying to spot the talent in, the guys that we have around.
My name is Omobolade Oladipo. I played Mrs. Alfred, the therapist, in Butterflies 2. It was an amazing one. I helped Jariola Williams with his life, generally.
Hello, my name is Debbie Jimmy, and I played Tara in Butterflies 2. Tara was the life of the party. She was the very unserious human being. And it was very easy for me to play the role because it was me on stage. It was my life on that stage.
My name is Amarachi Uzorigwe, and I played the role Mimi in Butterflies 2. So Mimi is like a very cool-headed person who would always give you advice, the truth. Sometimes the truth might be bitter, but she would always tell you what to do.
My name is Oladimeji Caxton Martins, known as Black Boy MCM. I was the hype man in Butterflies 2.
My name is Stanley, and I played Jerry Wada in Butterflies 2. And Jerry Wada happens to be a workmate to Jayola Williams and Dr. Luisani. So Jerry Wada is also someone that is kind of envious of Jayola because everybody in the office, every lady in the office likes Jayola Williams. Why don't they like Jerry Wada?
My name is Lois Larry Adebulu, and I played the character of colleague 2, Loisani, in Butterflies 2. I really love my character because it was me acting on set. What I love was that I was the ginger of the office, doing amebo from left, right, and center. You know what? I was the life of the office. I would know what's happening. I would do amebo, gist people, and yabbling.
My name is Idetini.
Amanimi.
I will play the roles of
Bella
and CJ in Butterflies 1.
We're Naomi's friends. And
I think the favorite part of our role was having to collect anointing because it felt like
baby.
baby. Uli. Because it felt like Naomi was getting all the men and we're not getting anything,
My name is Ilesomi Oluwatobi, and I played Jimmy in Butterflies. Jimmy is the guy who enhances whenever Jayola is, whatever he wants to do, he's just there for him. Just say, my guy. All those hype guys, people that always whine you, no matter what, they always hype you. You're going through bad times, they hype you. You're going through good times, they hype you. So that's who Jimmy is.
So many off-screen reactions, to Butterflies, but I remember too very well because these two people hounded me offline, online, wherever they could, by personal messages. It started to look like a threat. But I remember Pastor Obi and Eriolua very well. Pastor Obi would send me messages to say, PL, what happened? What happened? What's the next story? After Butterflies 1, in preparing for Butterflies 2, she would ask me questions. Just tell me the story. And I just want. And then she would just send me messages and just tell me to review the story. But, I just never did for once. Eriolua, after Butterflies 2, messaged me. She actually called to say, I am going to go to the root of this. Like, she was determined to actually tell me the backstory, which is what we're focusing on in Butterflies 3, and you should look out for that actually. Time was my greatest fear. Time, I think it has to, because it was really close. Like when I say really close, and I think I just want to even give the cast and crew a big round of applause, because sometimes I wonder how I just wonder how they managed to pull all of that in this short space of time that we had. Butterflies 1, I think we had the rehearsals in like 2 weeks. 2 was even shorter. I think 2 was crazier, because I was thinking to myself, hey. But I mean, it's good to work with beautiful set of professionals who are very innovative, who are professional on stage. So even though they forget their lines or they miss cue here and there, they just have a way of cueing back when nobody knows. We know the backstory, we know the real thing. But I mean, I think that would have been my greatest challenge. The time that we had to put everything together. But again, I think about it, I think that personally, I think I kind of thrive under pressure. So, so I'll give you a backstory. So even though we had like a year, right, between Butterflies 2 and 3, it took me like a month or 2 months to begin to think of the script in itself. I had the story right from the end of Butterflies 2, but I didn't start writing. I'm sorry, but that's how things do happen sometimes. But yeah, I think time must have been my greatest challenge. So in thinking of Butterflies, right, we needed to create something that was very relatable. And by that, I mean that, something that we could look into the society and you find these real characters, So you can find a Jariola Williams, you can find a Naomi, you can find a Laura. I mean, all of those characters are real characters that you find in your daily life. All right. And, I remember that in this period, we are also very interested and concerned about relationships, all right, and the choices that people make. So this was beyond a production, right? It was really pointing towards, people making the right decisions, and people really knowing who they are, which was one of the things that, and we're trying to pass across in Butterflies 1. It took a Naomi to, come out of that kind of relationship, moving on to say, look, I don't deserve to be here. I don't want to be here. I shouldn't be here. No one deserves to be in an abusive relationship, all right? You don't have to sit down there thinking that there's nothing good besides this, all right? And I think for the guys, it was just to, really point to the fact that, look, you're not... I mean, as much as we love Jariola's character, especially in Butterflies 1, it points to some sort of deficiency, all right, in men, all right, thinking that, they have it all, you can do whatever you want to do, you have the world at your beck and call, and all of that, so that's a typical societal, male figure, all right, that's what the society wants to make you think a man is, all right, so it was really important to bring out those characters, all right, and that's why we started to work on his rehabilitation, his therapy, his restoration, as you would call it. All right. And so it was beyond the production in itself. We're trying to also pass a message across, because I think relationships are really, really going through so many hard times. All right. People are going through a lot that they are not saying. All right. And everyone needs somebody to talk to. Everyone needs someone who can talk some sense into their head, all right, and that's why in Butterflies 2 we had to introduce 2 characters of different views, all right. For Laura, for instance, someone who would speak the truth, someone who wouldn't really care, all right, and that's why so this really was about relationships, not just marital relationships, but even personal relationships as well. So I'm glad that people started to see different things, people started to rethink certain things, as a result of this production. So I'm glad, and in Butterflies 3 we are just going to take it to another level, all right, and bring out some deep stories also, and just see that, look, there is really kokoro inside the F4 that you might have not seen, and that's what we're bringing out in Butterflies 3. So watch out, and I hope you've enjoyed watching 1 and 2. Get ready for a banger in 3, because it will be bloody. Collision cars.
I'm so excited about what we have planned for Butterflies 3.
I can't wait for you to see it.
Watch out for Butterflies 3.
Watch out for Butterflies 3.
Just wait to see Collision.
Watch out for Butterflies 3. We're taking it to a greater level. It's going to be a banger.